Good morning, welcome back to the adventures of Mac and Anthea. Or should I say, the adventures of Mac and Mike. He's just having a nosy round in the background there. So today we're going to be doing the section 2 of the old GSSR railway. We did the first section you may have seen in the previous video. The second section is a wild, unconverted section, so it should be quite interesting. We're going to be travelling along this section of railway, and we'll be actually finishing on the coastal side of the railway line and actually taking the turn on which starts to go down the Almanthora Valley. So I think without further ado, we'll get straight on with the walk, and I'll talk you through it as we go. Okay, and we're off. This is a new road which has been recently put in. A couple of years ago, this actually Via Verde went straight across here, but they've put this new road in to help access to a major hospital. So it's going through the town, so it's quite handy, and it's all been done really quite nicely. Okay, so on this section it's probably about 500-600 metres, just skims the edge of Wikiloc. This is an excellent point to top up on supplies. As you can see there, you've got a Lidl's there, you've got a Mercadona there, and you can get your fix on fast food if you want from Burger King in the background there. So perfect stop, because as you can see, you get ahead there, the Via Verde goes right down the side of Lidl's. The 600 metres is only really the busy section, and then no sooner are you on the town, you're back into the countryside again. So we continue on down the trail out of Wikiloc. This eventually was going to take us to the motorway. Now the motorway is actually cut the railway line clean in half, so we're going to have to find a little workaround. I'm not sure what was originally there. I've tried to do some research, but I don't know if it was a bridge or a tunnel, or there just wasn't a road there and the road went straight through the centre of Wikiloc, and this section of motorway is probably relatively new. I think it probably is the third. I suspect this section of motorway is relatively new compared to the sort of 200-year-old railway, and it's just cut through what was the old railway line. So we've got probably about another kilometre and we'll be down, and we'll be hitting that point. Beautiful scenery down there. We've definitely picked the right day. We've been keeping an eye on the weather forecast, and we've been sat in La Calima, which is sort of Sahara Desert sand clouds. Sat in that for about 2 or 3 days, and it's made it really humid. Today is about 6 degrees cooler than yesterday. We're going to get up to about 23 degrees today. We've got a light northerly wind, which is going to make it quite pleasant. So we definitely seem to have picked the right day for this. You can see it there in the distance, so I won't try and point it out. I'll put an arrow on it later. There's a cave down there to the rock face. Okay, so we're coming up to the end of this stretch. You could probably hear the traffic in the background. We're coming up to the Autovia, the motorway. This is the end of the Via Verde from Almendricus to Wikiloc, so it's a couple of kilometres out the other side of Wikiloc. But don't despair, we've figured out a route, the wild route round it. Now you might notice obviously we're walking this today, but if you're more of a bikey person and a hikey person, don't be put off, because there is routes very closely follow the original train route that you can do easily on bicycle, and I shall point that out to you as we go along. So you see here, it's a motorway going straight across there, and on the other side you can see the embankment there. I believe actually this embankment used to go straight across, and this section of motorway, as I said earlier, is new, and that's just gone through and cut through the old embankment because it's disused. Bit of a telltale sign, as you can see where these hills are here. They're very neatly cut. They look like they've been done with modern day excavator equipment. When I say modern day, in the past sort of 50 years. They certainly haven't been dynamited through or blown through by people at the end of the 1800s. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take an alternative route, which is going to take us round and to that point on the other side there. So at the end of the point here, you come here and you turn left and you start going down this track here. So we've taken our left, we're following down the edge of the motorway here. It doesn't go on for very long. As you can see, it's perfectly reasonable to go down here with a bicycle or walking. Okay, so we've come to a fork in the road. Now I tried to work this out in reverse a while back, and I suspect what happened is the farmers ploughed up part of the actual bicycle trail. But I suspect here, you could go left here and follow it round, it'll loop round. You may get a better view, a better vantage point in a minute. Go left round here if you're going on a bicycle, and right up there if you're walking. That said, I mean, you probably get most of this with a bike as well, especially in this direction because you'll be going down the steps mostly downhill, I think. But anyway, we're going to take the walkie way and see what's up here. This is the first time I've been on this section, so I don't know what to expect. It's narrow, but it's still, I can certainly won't worry about bringing my bicycle up here, so the younger amongst you and fitter would have no problem whatsoever. Okay, so as you can see, it's quite steep down there. You could probably still do it with a bicycle. Probably not too bad, and it's only a short section. So it takes you out the bottom there. See, this is the field that I'm talking about. I think the farmer may have ploughed up. I'm just going to take a little walk along here and see if you can see the ride around point. Yeah, well, I think if you sort of went down that road down your bicycle, sort of round behind that sort of hump there, you could come out there and follow the edge of that field down to that point down there, and you'd be sorted with your bicycle, even sort of that, I'll show you when I get to the bottom, this sort of track bit here. Okay, so Mike's always on his way, he's braving the steps. I'll follow him down that way and we'll see if we can look at, find something a little bit more bikey when we get down the bottom. Quite steep, but you've only got about 20-30 metres of them. Not bad at all. So I've just come out to the bottom of those steps. There we go, that's them there. I'll pan round and we'll have a little look because I've got a feeling there's a track here. Yeah. So I reckon if you followed that around that way, that would take you around the back of that hump I just showed you, drawing that trail I just showed you. So that's looking like your bicycle route if you don't want to brave the steps. So we continue on down here. As you can see in the background, you can see all the canes and the reeds there. So we're about to hit the bottom of the Rambler. Now this section on the bottom of the Rambler is actually an ancient route, goes right back to ancient times before there was any roads or anything. It's a natural Rambler bottom, a natural route and a pass that people used to travel along right back here, right back to Arabic times and probably before even. So we're just walking down through the reeds on the edge of the Rambler. What you're going to see in this section is the difficulties that the engineers started to face. They'd just been down a long flat valley down the bottom of the Mediterranean pass sort of thing down there, and it was fairly simple for them, well, relatively simple for them, but now they're starting to go down these ancient roads. You think there was no roads or anything just above this old Rambler to actually transport stuff, to build bridges, and the terrain really starts to change from this point on as we start to drift and corner off towards the Almanthora Valley. So we'll come to the bottom of the Rambler and we're going to walk under motorway bridge here. This is the A7015, and normally we go straight across, and we will do in a bit, but we're going to take a little diversion so we can follow the original rail track and try and stay as true to the original GSSR route as we possibly can. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the right here and try and retrace the train line. We're not going to spend a lot of time doing it, but if we can, we try and trace it because there's a really good bridge we want to come up to. And then a bit later on, once we've done the bridge, we'll jump down back to this point. So when we do our jump, this is where we're going to land. Okay, so we're coming up to this point here. We actually did do this with Anthony on the bicycles to try and find a bicycle route through. Now, today there's a chain down, but there's a chain up there the other day, which is why we didn't go through that way. But from Google Earth, that looked like a way to get through. But being as we're on foot today, we're going to carry on up here and see if we can pick the train track back up. We've just come across that field to that point over there. It's been a bit of a scramble. We're going to walk down here and see if we can find a bit of a better track, because it looks quite a way up there still, just sort of across. You know, just about there where the track is. Just about to see the railway bridge that we're going to try and get to in the distance there. All derelict, all disuse in sort of 1984. Okay, we seem to have picked up the trail which I originally saw off Google Earth. There's a bigger trail, I think you can just about to see over there, which takes you a long way around it, and then there's a bit of a narrower, faint trail that I picked up on Google Earth. As you know, it's hard to tell how good the trails are, but I can see the railway line over there, so I think we'll follow this along and see if we can pick up the railway line now. The railway line's sort of just over there. Okay, so we found the railway line, just coming across there. We're just going to go back on ourselves towards the motorway in the interests of following the route as completely as we can. And we'll look back across the motorway to the point we were earlier. Doesn't take long. If you get a little bit lost, it don't really matter. You go in the general direction of the way you think the railway line is, and follow any trails you come up on, and it'll bring you back to this. Okay, and we're back up to the motorway again. So it's about to see straight across. So I'll put an arrow on later that where the Beer Birthday ends and where we were earlier. Okay, so we're going to turn back round and we're going to follow this trail along. You see by the ground you've got quite large cobblestones, and why it's not particularly great fun on a bicycle. We did quite a lot of it on this, a bit better than this, it's a bit more compact, but even so it's still hard work on a bicycle. It's not great walking, but it's a hell of a lot easier than cycling. So we're going to continue along this track until we come to the old industrial age bridge, which really looks quite nice. Okay, so we've picked up the railway line in the opposite direction now. We just follow this along. If it's passable, it looks like we've got sort of knee-high weeds, but nothing more than that. So we're going to be following the exact route of the railway line as much as we can. We don't mind up to our knees in a few weeds, but we're not going to be going up to our shoulders in it. So if it gets too silly, then we're going to have to be taking the alternative route around the side. But for the time being, it looks like this is okay, and we'll be able to continue along to the old industrial age bridge. Okay, I think I can see the bridge in the distance there. I previously dismissed going across this because I think it's a skeleton bridge and you can actually see between the sleepers down. Quite a decent drop. I think it's probably about 10-15 metres down, probably even more, so we won't be going across this today, but we'll go and have a look. Okay, we're coming up to the bridge here. I'll try and get you a little shot from the side here. I'll probably go down to the bottom and do some drone footage of it. As you can see, it's a beautiful old bridge. Bit of just imagine the time and the effort and the manpower that had to go into building something like that in the middle of nowhere at the end of the 1800s. Really quite amazing. Going a little bit of a closer look, see if there is a walkway. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought, but I've got Mike with me today and he's not a fan of heights, so I think we probably will be going back round. As you can see, you have actually got a walkway around the side here, but you can see it's a long way down through those sleepers there. You're not up for this, are you, Mike? He's not. Mike says he's not up for this. No, it feels solid enough, but you know, yeah, let's go round. And Mike's just going to go and check that out there and see if there's a way around there, but I think we may have to go back on ourselves. I mean, hopefully we'll be able to get around that way, but I don't know. Okay, so we just come back down that trail there, and it looks like we are going to get a little scramble route down here. Yeah, a little bit of stunt work, but it's nothing too bad. We can get down here easy enough. So that says walking all the way back round there. So yeah, if you're doing your walking route, then you should certainly come round this way. I think your average person should be able to get down this. I'm a bit better at going down slope. Mike's a bit better at going up the slope. So we get down there. Okay, we're going to try scramble a bit more because it looks like we've got a final step. Pull at the edge here. Yep, we can get down here. Okay, so we've scrambled down that little bit there. I just missed that little cave or something in there. Yeah, and we're down below the bridge there, so that's not too bad. So we're going to scramble back up here in a minute, but I think this is definitely a point where we need to get the drone up and get some drone footage for you guys. This incidentally is part of the old ancient road of the Rambler. The bikie route, well, I said I was underneath the motorway bridges, just around the corner down here. Just going to say, I've said this a few times in the past, please be careful when you're down Ramblers, when there's rainy weather about. Always look for you to be able to get a quick route out the side of it, because if it rains sort of 5-6 kilometres away, that rain can be on top of you in a torrent, quite literally within minutes. Very dangerous these Ramblers can be, so whenever you walk down them, always want to be thinking in the back of your mind, how am I getting out of here in a hurry? Especially when you've got stormy weather. Okay, so in a minute we're going to take a scramble up there and get back onto the track, just purely to keep it as accurate as we can as the main railway line. But first I'm just going to quickly walk you back down this way. This is for the benefit of the bikey people. Obviously you don't want to be scrambling up that bank there. So if you've come along from underneath the motorway bridge here, there's actually a fork here in the Ramblers. And what you want to be doing is taking the, I suppose you come from that direction, the left-hand fork, which doesn't go under the bridge, and going up this way. Now you can actually walk through this way as well, which is still quite pleasant if you don't want to go over the rough gravel. But if you follow this along, and then you can sort of come off the Rambler sort of just on that corner there and cut the corner off. It's quite smooth and quite nice for a bicycle. And then you'll come to a tunnel. Now we're going to go back up this other way, but what I'll do is as we go across that tunnel and we've got a better view of this trail, I'll point it out to you from the other direction. So for now we're just going to turn back round and go back down up here and follow this track up here. Okay, so we're going to try and scramble up a trail here. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. When I did this trail the other day with the bicycles and I quickly went up to have a look, I went to quite a bit steeper route and it was, believe it or not, even looser than this. So yeah, this is definitely the better route. Love all this old stonework here, just to distract you slightly. Look how beautifully that's all been carved out the sandstone, all the contours on that, the actual time that's been taken on the workmanship, just for something as basic as a bank support. Absolutely beautiful, the workmanship on all that. As we always say, you can't see it on camera, but this is fairly steep and it is very loose underfoot. So I think I'll switch the camera off until I get to the back and concentrate what I'm doing. Okay, so we're both out of breath. Just going to walk back to this bridge here, give you a quick look at that, and we'll turn back round and we'll carry on down the trail. Back at the bridge again from the other side. All looks perfectly innocent from this direction until you see it from below looking up and you get some idea of how high it is. Down below there, better view of the fork. We've just come along here, but if you're going on the bicycle, you want to be going sort of along there. Okay, so we'll go back down this way and we'll carry on and see what it's like. I haven't walked on this section, so I don't know how passable it is. We'll have to see. Okay, I just want to quickly stop and show you something here. You come from the bridge over there and you've just scrambled up the bank here. Here, if you see, brilliant little spot here for a wild camp. Nobody ever comes up on this section because it's not part of the walking route, it's just a original railway line. But you've got a lovely flat section here. You could do a wild camp. If you wanted to be a bit discreet, you could shelter in behind there. Or if you wanted the view, you could just camp here. You can straight down the Rambler there. Yeah, brilliant spot there. Okay, so you can see the trail across there, the bicycle trail off the Rambler. Sort of goes down there, around there. And across there, it just cuts that corner off basically, and it'll bring you through to a tunnel in a minute, which I'll show you as we come over the top of it. This is the embankment that I scrambled up the other day on foot from the side and decided there's no way I'm dragging a bicycle up here, or an Anthea's bicycle as well, and just as well we didn't, because we've only gone about 50 metres, we would have had to scramble back down again. Okay, so we're coming up to a little bridge here. Can't really see it from above, sort of a tunnel. Might get a glimpse of it later on, but I don't think so. So yeah, you come with your bicycles, there's sort of a U there, round, and also I'll get it there, and you come down onto the Rambler, then you come down the end of the Rambler and out this tunnel, and then you come out the other side there. So that's basically your bikey route, and your hikey route if you can't be bothered to scramble up here and go on the main track. But like I said, we're going to stay as true to the railway route as we can, so we're going to, as long as we can, we'll keep scrambling along and trying to go along the original railway tracks. Okay, so if you're doing the bikey route down there below, you'll come out here, and as you can see, it's quite a nice trail, and we're up, let's say, on the old railway track here, so you can see it actually follows the bottom of the embankment, so it's pretty true to the original route if you're going on bicycle that way. So yeah, we'll carry on the rough gravel, but thankfully it's not that weedy. You know, I've seen sections of this where it's sort of up to your shoulders, probably coming a bit later on, so we'll have to see how we get on with that. The views are tremendous from up here, and we've definitely picked the right day. More good sort of wild camping routes just off the trail here. We're on the embankment here. Nobody ever walks along this, they always take the trail down below. So if you were to shoot off and do a little wild camp over in those trees or sort of down there, your shelter, no one can see you. Yeah, there's wild camping points all around here. You certainly have no trouble wild camping. Okay, so we've walked all the way along the top here, the bit we didn't go on before. That circle here in the background. Just pan you around here, you can see this is the trail that runs and starts to come alongside of the railway track. We're going to carry on along the railway track a bit longer. It's quite hard on our feet, quite hard to walk on. It's a bit like, you know, walking in snow. So we'll go along a bit further. If we get tired of it, we will actually go to the trail by the side because it runs exactly alongside the original national railway lines. So hopefully on the camera you can see that bridge coming up in the distance. And we're going to come to sort of our, probably not halfway point, but a good stop point. They've got a nice little shaded park there, so it might be the place to stop and have a sandwich or something. So we're finally coming up to this little bridge here. A few seconds for you, about 10 minutes for us. It's quite hard going this ground. And I don't know if you can just see it beyond through the arch there, some red and sort of yellow panels there. That's the park we're heading to, and probably stop and have a drink and a spot of dinner. This park's on the edge of a village, really is a village in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing really out here. I can't remember the name, I'll write it in later. But yeah, quite a nice little village right in the middle of nowhere where this park is, which I'll show you when we get there. So we've stopped at this lovely little park area. I'm not sure if it's halfway or not, but it's the best place to stop. Got a little barbecue area over here if you wanted to cook something. Nice little seating area, shaded seating area here. And then sort of kiddies park in the end and some exercise machines for the OAPs. Yeah, so really quite a good stop here. In a minute we just finish off, we've had a few sandwiches and a drink, and we'll carry on. Okay, so we're coming to the edge of the park here. We're going to go back down the ramp and rejoin the track. We're going to go out through the end of the village, and next stop I think is going to be another old industrial age iron bridge. Another nice one over a large rambler. So we're back on the gravel down here. It's a little loose underfoot. This section of the gravel, which we've just been to, up to the park, is probably about the worst bit of it, because nothing ever goes along it, nobody walks on it, no cars drive along it. The next section, quite a lot of cars go down, probably farmers to get to the fields and that, and it's compacted down little trails on it, which makes it a bit easier going underfoot. So okay, we'll carry along, we'll leave the village and get to this next iron bridge. Okay, so you can just see the village in the distance there. We've just come back out, we've just come out to the side of it now. We're just going to try and find this little trail across here and see if we can just get to the iron bridge and have a look from this side. We may have to go back on ourselves again to this point, or we may be able to scramble down like last time, we don't know. I haven't walked this trail bit before, so let's give it a go. Okay, here we are. It's pretty overgrown. I'll just pan back him again in a minute. As you can see, nature's reclaimed it a bit there. And basically a repeat of the other track there. So a long way down. If you're feeling brave, you might take this walkway across, but heights aren't Mike's thing at all, and you're talking about a 40-year-old derelict bridge here, so you're taking your life in your hands. So I think we're going to try and find another way down. If not, we'll have to go back on ourselves and walk round. To show you across here, you can see where railway money has been in the past. You can see that really old grand house over there, and sort of even like a tiny little hamlet on the outskirts there. Quite obviously a railway company, you know, buildings really well built, and they've got that sort of particular style to them. Yeah, all derelict now. Right, let's retrace our steps. We might try and find a little way off to our right here, across this land. If not, we'll just go all the way back and walk round. So we've come back from the bridge a little way. We're going to give it a little go down here, I think. See if we can get down this way. If you're not feeling so adventurous, just go back to the road and follow it round to the left, and that'll bring you down onto the rambler. But this doesn't look too bad. Somebody's property, but it's not fenced off. You're normally okay to walk across property if you do with respect. If there's no fencing around it, just keep to the edge. Normal sort of thing on any farmer's fields anywhere in the world. Okay, it's a bit thick, the weeds out there, but it's quite easy to get through, not too bad. And I think I'm just going to come back up to this point here. Seems to be a bit of a animal path going down the side here. Quite a lot of evidence of wild boar on this trip, you know, the hoof marks in the soft soil. Okay, that wasn't too bad. And we're down into the rambler bottom here, in the old bridge above us here. Just going to walk a little bit back this way and give the bikie people some idea of the route. If you stopped off that track at that part where you just stopped out on the bicycle, you carry on through the village, out the other side of the village towards the Rambler, and you'll come out just about over there. I can't see, I'll put you an arrow on later, just about above out there. And then what you do is you come down and you can follow this Rambler all the way down, and it's a beautiful Rambler all the way down this gully, all the way down to our next destination. You'll get a better view of it when we start walking down the railway tracks, because we're sort of looking down on it. But it is a really nice ride down here on the bicycle. Okay, I'm not going to do any drone footage on this one, because even though it's a beautiful bridge, it's very similar, almost a carbon copy of the last one. So we're going to climb back up onto the rails and continue along. We've got a lovely tunnel in a bit, and there's actually an embankment that runs all the way down the side of the Rambler. Really great views. So we'll get the drone up for some of that, I think. Okay, so we're across the Rambler, and we're going to go for this track to the left. Okay, so we just come out the side of the Rambler. We're following the trail along the side of the railway tracks. We're going to jump back onto them in a minute, just to, again, try and stay on the route as best we can. When I came reverse with Anthea last time, we actually came along this track at the side. But yeah, we could join the original route back on here again. Looks a bit more compact, the gravel, maybe. Yeah, and back sort of in that direction, you can see where all the weeds are. That's where the bridges we've just come from. Okay, so we'll continue on along. There's a bridge a bit further down here, and then there's quite a decent tunnel worth seeing as well. Okay, we're coming up to a tunnel at the edge of this hill. I know, no idea again on camera how high we are, but it's quite a raised embankment over the top of the Rambler below there. That, of course, is the old ancient way that was used. God knows how long back, right back into Arab times. It's an ancient route, natural route for the Ramblers. Looks like we're starting to lose a bit of the embankment here, and nature claiming it back. Yeah. Water always wins in the end. And we're out. Some lovely brickwork along and stonework on this embankment you can't see, but I've got some drone footage in the previous time, so I'll do it with this tunnel, put that up on the video, and also show the footage of this wall all the way along the side holding this embankment back. You can really see the Rambler now here. So that's a good ride on a bicycle, really nice ride. So we continue along on this trail. It's a little bit better underfoot because it's a bit more compact down in the centre here. It's better to go up here if you can, because it's spectacular views from up here over the Rambler. Next stop is a place called Al Fakir. So it's quite a way to go before we get to that, probably about 5-6 kilometres probably. That's quite a way to go. But well worth a look that is, because it's got a major station and major railway building still there intact. Really quite beautiful in that part of the little part of the railway system. Now if you can see, I'll show you with the drone anyway, but you can just about see the wall all the way along here holding this embankment back. So we've lost a little bit of the railway track again there. We've just come through that little cut gully through there. See the Rambler over there in the distance. We've got a bit straight trackway continuing on to Al Fakir. Okay, you can see it in the distance there. There's the actual road, which is the A334, which is the road that goes down the bottom of the Almanthora Valley. So sort of from left to right here in a minute is more or less the start of the Almanthora Valley, and where the track starts to turn, where it's cut off the corner and continue on along down the Almanthora Valley. Okay, so we'll keep going. Bring you back in when there's something interesting to show you. Well, I wish I caught that on camera. We've just had a little whirlwind come through. I grabbed my hat just in time, but Mike didn't. He's going to have to retrieve it. It went right up into the air, and it's right up there on the slope there. See if he's going to manage to get up there. Follow that little rabbit trail straight in front of you, Mike. Straight in front, that's it now, straight on up. Look. You see it? Yeah, he spotted it. That was amazing, went straight up into the air, probably about 50 feet into the air, and dumped him right up there on the hill there. There you go, hat retrieved. That's amazing, that was. So we're starting to get back into civilization now. Of course, we're in the Almanthora Valley and we're starting to get our breeze. Not so great for the mic, but it's nice for us. It's quite hot, and just as soon as we've come out and started to hit again the Almanthora Valley, we've got the breeze coming along and cooling us down. So very welcome at the minute. So we're going to continue along this route again. We're still heading towards Al Fakir. Can't remember what this little sort of hamlet place is called. I'll write it in later. And yeah, we'll carry on along, and once again we'll bring you in when there's something worth seeing. Okay, so we're just coming to the end of that last built up area, that hamlet, and Charles getting a lot more civilised here now at this point. It's smaller stones and grittier. We've got rid of the bigger stones now, which are really quite hard underfoot. Okay, we've come up to the bridge here. I've got some drone footage from before which I shall throw into this video. Quite a nice old stone bridge, this one. Getting a bit of breeze now, which is nice. I don't know if you can hear it on the mic. Mike here is trying to decide whether we're going to go over or whether we're going to go round. So I'll leave this one up to him. Okay, so we're getting pretty close now to Al Fakir. We've just come down that long track there off of that bridge. You can see that originally the track went through there, but it's a road just above. It's just shut it off. So we're going to just walk up onto the road and then drop down the other side. Okay, so we just come over the road. And obviously this is where the train track originally came through and continued on, so we're going to carry on down there, and we're going to be going under the new section of motorway which runs down the Almanthora Valley. Okay, so we're about coming up to the outskirts of Al Fakir finally. It's a bit further than I remembered. Got this little modern man-made tunnel which goes under the new autovia, which is running along, still not completed, along the bottom of the Almanthora Valley. But we've got an echo. So yeah, we're out through the other side, and I'll bring you back in once we start to come into Al Fakir, because there's really quite a lot of interest there. Brought you back in to see this. This is Al Fakir, and it was an area where a lot of expats were coming to live. Stone's throw from the coast, but a hell of a lot cheaper. And you can see where they put all the streets in, ready to put the houses in, but then they've called time on the building and says no more building, and they've put a stop to it. And you've just got all the infrastructure here with the pavements and the street lights here. And the waste ground here to be built on, but it's never got built on. See the ones just next to it which have been completed and they allowed. But this would all look similar, this ground here would all look similar to that. To be honest, I mean, I understand the building, you know, we're not wanting to put it in certain places, but this is just waste ground between a village and a motorway. So really, they could have built on that, it wouldn't have made any difference. Okay, so we're here in Al Fakir. This is still the original railway line here, which has been converted into a little promenade bit. And we're about to hit in a minute basically the centre of it. For what it's worth, it's not a particularly big place. And we're going to go straight across and have a look at some of the old the railway station, I think, which has been renovated. And there's also quite a lot of these really large prosperous railway buildings left here as well, which are sort of semi-derelict, but worth a look. So we're in the centre of Al Fakir here. You'll recognise it by these arches and a roundabout there. If you continue down this road here about 200 metres on the right, there's a fish and chip shop, pretty good if you can catch it open. It's got really weird opening hours. Well, you see people sitting on the bar in the corner there, sort of an Englishy type bar, if you're fancy a beer. You turn right down there, about 200 metres down there on the left, there's a cash point machine if you need cash. Okay, so we're going to carry on along a bit further down here, which would have been originally the railway line. And a little further down here, on the left, I'll show you a bit, there's actually a mini market if you want to stock up on supplies. You can see there's various buildings. This is an old disused semi-derelict building here, but obviously old from the railway era, GSSR era, where that's been built. Probably for the rich people who were involved in the railway. Okay, so we're walking down the centre promenade here, which would originally have been the railway line. You see various buildings. You see this is probably a quite prosperous area, a major station, a lot going on here, back towards the end of the 1800s, early 1900s. And a lot of the buildings further down are still intact and have been renovated. So we're going to carry on down here. There comes a point where we can't go any further, but I found a workaround so we can walk around and rejoin the old original track again. Took some finding, but we got there in the end of a combination of Google Maps, Google Earth, and actually wrecking it out. So we'll be able to take you straight around it this time. There you go, another beautiful old disused building there, not doing anything. Yeah, I might have spotted some of the old signal things in the probably the points, change the points over. Yeah, another one here spotted in the big bushes here. I know, an easy one over the other side, yep. I don't know if these were originally here and they're meant to be here, or whether they've placed them in amongst them as garden ornaments afterwards. I'm really not sure. But yeah, now we're seeing them all the time. Okay, so we're back into the centre. You can see across there, Corriban and the tobacconist. So if you want a quick top up on your shopping and you're not here at siesta time like we are, there's the place to be. Okay, really quite nice area around here. Lovely shaded area over here to our left. Nice benches for the old people to sit on under the trees. Not sure which is which here, whether it's the station on the right or on the left. I suspect on the left, but I'm not sure. That seems to have the platform, so it's hard to tell. There's got a buffer there to stop the trains. Must be some sort of administration building or something over there, because this is looking like it's the actual station. Actually in Alpha Kia now, but this is it's done as the Henna. Approximate pronunciation of it. It's there you go. There, so there, yeah, this was originally the Henna station, but in actual fact now it's in Alpha Kia. The Henna is sort of a kilometre in this direction. Got the handrail along here. It's actually been made out of a railway line. Look, quite cool. Okay, so we're going to go over to that gateway over there and that building, which definitely looks like a locomotive shed. I'm not sure there used to be a turntable or something here. You can actually see that there's a refill point for the going right back to the steam engine days. I'm going to take you back across here because this is where this gets cut off. But we have actually found a route at the other end, but I'll quickly show you it, and then you'll understand more when we go round and show you it from the other side. Okay, so you can see the old locomotive shed here. So I've got some sort of pit in there for maybe for maintenance or something, I don't know. Is that the other side? And then if you look down there, you can see those gates at the other side. Now we can't get through here obviously to there, unfortunately. We have to take a little route round and pick that up at the other side, but I'll show you that when we get round. It requires going down sort of that street over there and round, but we're gonna have a little rest first and then we're going to carry on and I'll show you the workaround to get you back en route. Okay, I think there's a chair with my name on it. Just give my feet a rest and then we'll carry on. We've probably got another 2 kilometres to go. But the next one is quite important because it's hard to find, so I'll give you a detailed route of where to get to on it. Okay, we've just stopped for a quick rest. Not sure if that's a good idea or not, but we're going to carry on for the last 2 kilometres. So we're coming off the station platform down here. This is sort of the important bit you need to take note of because this is where you can get it wrong and get lost, and it's took us a long time to work out the route to go. So if you're looking at those white gates up there with the writing on, we need to be taking this street down here onto our left to find a sort of a loop round to get us back round to the train rails. Every time I come here, this guy's got his tractor parked there on a trailer, so maybe you should look out for that. And it's the street dead opposite this building here. So we go straight down here and we take the next right. Okay, so we're coming down that first section of the street. You look over the left there, you've got sort of a little square there. So we want to be turning right across here. the end again here, and then straight across again. Basically what we're doing is we're following this sort of back road here, which will take us up along the side of the factory. We follow this all the way sort of round to the end. You can see here, that's quite a long road down there, so we're just going to follow this right down here, and I'll bring you in when we get towards the end of it. Old disused factory here, quite a grand old building. Not sure what this factory is, but it's not being used anymore, or whether it had any connection to the railway at any time or any point, I don't know. Very little history on this sort of thing. It's actually looking at it now, it looks like it's probably just marble works at some point. Okay, so we just come straight up that road there, and we're just following it round here to the right, sort of at the back end of this old factory here. Disused factory, don't know what's going on there. And we're just going to start our way down this little slope here. So we just come slightly down this slope here, and you take this trail here. Now there's no way, you can't see the railway line at all at this point, so you've got to know it's here, and this is why it's taken us so long to find it. We actually had to discover it by travelling in the opposite direction, and even then it was difficult. So you're basically looking at those houses all perched on the little slope up on the hill there. You want to be heading down this trail towards them. So all of a sudden we're on it. I was looking for where it is, and now we're on it. So we've got an electrical pylon there, and there's lots of electrical pylons, so it's not a very good mark. But those gates that we showed you from the other side, as I look through, you can see them down there, and you can actually see the sort of locomotive shed down there as well. I'm not going to walk down there and show you it. It's getting to the end of the day and we're getting tired. So we're just going to walk down what's left of the original track, and you can start to see why we struggle so hard for so long to try and find this section. So we'll start along this, quite overgrown, but definitely passable, a bit rough underfoot again. So we've got the roughest part to last. It's only a small section, a couple of 100 metres I suppose, where you probably would want to get off. If you're on your bicycle and doing the bicycle route, you may want to get off at this, push your bike along. You've also got the option, if you've got Google Maps out, of just taking the roadway. If you've got to the point where you've had enough, you can take the roadway round from Alpha Kia to Arbelayes. But again, you know, we're trying to stay as exactly to the route of the train as possible, so we're gonna brave it. As you can see, going up ahead there, the ground's starting to look a bit smoother. So yeah, about a couple of 100, 200, maybe 300 metres at the most of this really rough-arsed stone underfoot. Rather have had it at the start than at the end. Okay, I stand corrected. Last little bit of stones here, but it's 50 metres or so. So not the end of the world. As you can see, probably just see that lorry going by now. We're just coming up to the motorway now, and the next part of the trail will probably follow the side of the motorway back to our final destination. So coming back up to the road here that runs alongside of the Autovia, the motorway. So we're going to just go across this little road, and then we'll pick up the railway line again at the other side. Hopefully we'll be able to get across. If we're not, we might have to go turn back on ourselves, because there's a little bridge here. I am going to do some footage of it because it's a really nice bridge which you can't see at all from above here. So I'm going to come back at another time with the drone, and at a time when I can do it more justice. Okay, yeah. See a little bit of railway lines down there. So, yeah, we know which way the railway line went. Straight across there. Now we'll have a quick look and see if we can get over this way. I'm not sure, we may have to just double back a little. Right, I'm going to be careful here because we've got the bridge somewhere and we've got a deep gully, so I've got my doubts that we're going to be able to get across it, to be honest. And I think we may have to just go back a bit. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think you could, but I don't think this looks very Mike. No, we're going to up and go round because it is a fairly solid all the way across here, but if you look right down there, these are double bridges down here, and I'm going to come back and get right down that gully with the drone so I can really do it some justice, but obviously when you watch the video it'll already be in there. Okay, so we're going to double back just a little bit, I think, and go round. Okay, so you're just about to see the arches of the old bridge here, and this is actually an old bridge as well that we're going over the top now, which they've just resurfaced. If you're not so keen on, you know, on the heights or whatever, it's just a bit rough arse for you, go back to the road, carry along the road. You'll come to this bend, big sign you can see there, and this right hand turn. So you go across here and then you're back on the route of the original rail line. Okay, so we're back off the road, we just come straight across off there. And we just follow this motorway edge along here, which is obviously the original route, and we'll end up on the edge of Arbaleas. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the trail. I didn't film much along the edge of the motorway because it wouldn't have made it particularly interesting footage. It was a hell of a lot longer than I remember it when I was down it on the bicycle, and my feet are starting to hurt. I'm glad we're actually at the end of it. So if you look straight across the road there, I'll put an arrow in later, that's the start of the Bia Verde opposite there, and that will be the section 3 that we'll be doing of the old GSSR railway line. But for now, this is the end of the wild route, the unconverted route. Luckily, we're not going all the way back the back way to get to Mike's car. I've left the van here on the way to Mahaka the other day so that we could take the van to pick up his car and then leave the van en route again to pick him on the way back home tomorrow. So if you turn right up here, there's a good hostel up here if you want somewhere to stay for the night. There's a good sized sort of mini supermarket up there, and a bar and a few other bits and bobs, not far as you can see from the route. So and that's where we've got the van parked. So I think we're going to end that video there. Thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Yay!